Right. So you've been playing Hades, and you've been
Hmm.
quite liking it.
Love it.
It is a great game, and it is very addicting.
It's so addictive.
How
I've
far have
only
you How far have you made it into the game?
I've unlocked all the weapons. I've got all the weapons. I've the furthest I've got is Hades himself.
Ah, made it to the big man.
Hmm. And I nearly done it, but like I got greedy in trying to do it.
Yep, yep.
Let my guard down, and it just totally wiped me out. But it's so fun. I love it. I really do. I
Uh,
love like the quiet moments, seeing quiet moments, and it's like the bass.
the
It's
home,
amazing.
the actual like House of Hades area, and then there's some other areas in the middle of the run you get to where you meet other NPCs and you just
Hmm.
chat with them and stuff, and they're nice.
That's really interesting as well. Like the whole the way that you kind of deal with NPCs, because like see when I kind of first cottoned on to be like, all right, this isn't a game that you complete on the first try.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it's a roguelike, so it's a game that is you don't complete, you just get a little better every time.
yeah,
You slightly get stronger as you play and unlock new stuff, and every run is slightly different. Yeah,
I love it.
good old roguelike kind of game,
Hmm.
which I've been
Um,
a big fan of for a while now.
it is a really good game. Like it's just such a fun. What's your kind of like favorite god or like power set kind of thing?
Hmm.
What's your ideal for a playthrough?
Um. Oh god. I think it's Athena.
The
Athena's
God of Wisdom.
Is it Athena that does the shields stuff? I
That's
think.
right.
Aye,
Yeah.
she's always nice to get.
Hmm.
The shield and like hitting back projectile stuff is
So
very
useful.
handy.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a big fan of the lightning stuff that Zeus gives you though, like the chain lightning shit you can get
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
is insanely good.
I love, or my kind of my ideal is, I got Aegis the shield, and I hope that I get Ares, and I hope that I get, I think it's like can't remember what it's called, but it kind of damages them after the fact, and it
Oh, yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
kind of stuns them as well. And I like to get the kind of weapon perk where it's like throw the shield up to four enemies.
Oh, the hammers.
Hmm.
The hammers are always anytime I ever see a hammer as an option, I'm like I'm getting a hammer because
Yeah.
they're always so good.
Hmm. It's such a fun game. I love playing it. The boss that I probably had made most difficult ways, like the first one, Meg.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she's such a cow.
Aye,
Such a cow.
took me so long to beat the first time, and then um, she is a pain in the ass.
Hmm.
She's a bit of a war to break through when you're first
Aye.
playing it, and then the other bosses can be tough as well. But I think she's definitely a tough war.
Do you know the boss, like the Minotaur and I can't remember. I think it's Theseus,
Oh,
and like they even claim it's like this is hugely unfair. Two against
as
one.
the first time you fight them, you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to beat these two? But you kind of get the hang of it, and you're like, alright, okay, it's not as bad once you kind of get the hang of things.
Hmm.
But
Do you
oh,
know? See, for the longest time, right, and when it came to the power ups and stuff like that, I completely ignored the call option. You know, like you can call a god to kind of like do some shit to the stage.
yeah.
I was completely ignoring that and being like, "Wow, this is really difficult." But then, like, I was completely ignoring something that could make it so easy for me for a few seconds.
Yeah, the calls. Some of the calls are. I think some of the calls are no great.
Zeus
Um,
seemed to be alright.
Zeus's is pretty good. A lot of them are. It's kind of weird because there's a lot of uh perks that the gods give you and stuff that are good, but some of them are only good against bosses, really, and some of them are only good
Yeah.
against regular enemies. Like there's ones you can get that are like, oh, like, this will be good, but it doesn't really do much against bosses because it's like fucking what's his name? Poseidon's is like his stuff is
His
good
are
for like
workers.
his are good against normal enemies because you can hit them about because you actually
Yeah.
you actually demove them and they can get big damage for like getting hit in the walls and stuff. But against bosses, it doesn't really affect them that much.
No.
So it's not really that. I feel like his has always been kind of meh.
He's probably one of my least favourites for like the power ups and stuff like that. If it's an option between him and somebody else, I find myself going for somebody else. Just funnily enough, right? So I went into how the wee black holes.
Oh, the chaos gates.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'd been seeing them a couple of times, and I'm like, I'm just going to ignore that. It says it's going to take my health. I don't really want to mess with that kind of thing. So I was feeling brave one playthrough. I was like, right, I'll go through it, see what it's all about. Went through, and it really is chaos. Like every kind of power up punishes you for using it, but then after it, you might be alright if you survive.
Yeah, it's good to try and get them early when there's the enemies aren't too tough. But man, if you're in like the third area and you get a chaos gate, you're like, oh, do I want to even if I get this, I might just be dead, depending on what kind of punishment it gives me.
Do you know what I don't get as well? Or no, what I don't get. I don't like the fact that how they make you pick. Sometimes they make you pick between power ups, and you're just kind of asking for like, kind of just asking for like to piss off one of them.
Oh, that's you always no matter what you do, you're gonna have to fight off the other one being a pissy wee bitch. You pick my power up, all right.
So bitter.
They are better, but I mean that's what the fucking that's what these gods are all about. They are better arseholes. That's just who they are.
The worst traits in human people, or the worst and the best traits of human people.
Now this playing this game made me more curious about like the lore of these gods, and I looked up YouTube videos, of people just talking about just a guy like telling the stories, of these gods, and some of them are just horrendous. Like some of the worst shit I've ever heard. I'm just like, wow.
I know. Zeus, if Zeus existed, he'd have a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
It's pretty bad stuff. Pretty bad stuff.
I think one of my, or not one of my favourite, but like one of them that kind of just really sticks out to me is obviously what's his name? Sisyphus. Pushing the boulder up the hill.
Yep.
So because Sisyphus essentially not even tricked the gods, it was just basically like, I fail the rules, well, I'm going to kind of twist them my way so that I benefit from it, and subsequently yous don't. And they were like, you outsmarted us, a human outsmarted us, well, guess what you're doing for the rest of your life? An afterlife, an eternity.
Just, they're so better. They're so better. They're so fragile egos. Very fragile egos.
Definitely. Better Bettys.
Yep.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying the game.
Good.
I've kind of been playing it non-stop.
I'm glad. It's a game I very much enjoyed when I was playing it. I was playing it obsessively last year when I first got it for months. I've not loaded it up in a while, but because other games came out and that. But I played it pretty obsessively for a few months.
I think there's there must be like a deep hidden story, or not a deep hidden story, but like the story in it is one that you kind of have to look for, or kind of happenstance, depending on who's in the room at the time, or who you've spoke to, who you've gifted, stuff like that. It's all very complex.
Well, I get you'll find it the more you play it, I guess. I won't say anything. I don't want to spoil stuff that happens in the game.
There've been hints towards like things that could happen, and that I'm kind of thinking, what if that does happen? Then the game's going to get a lot harder. You know what I mean?
Well, it will. It might.
Tune in and find out.
Well, I guess that'll be a nice weekly a nice weekly update on the podcast, Aurel, how far you've come in Hades.
I mean, like it's one of the games you kind of need to play over and over to get upgrades, good stuff, all that kind of stuff.
I think it took me, if I remember right, I think it took me 20 to 25 runs before I beat Hades for the first time. Like, before I actually managed to kick his ass and beat the final boss. So
I'm at
it's...
I'm at like almost 50 attempts. But like, this is the thing. Like, I'm probably the worst person to play Hades because I'm a running. You know, I'm thinking it's Devil May Cry. You know, where you just go in and like kind of bust shit up. But
yeah, also
it's one of the games you need to be quite cerebral when you play it.
This is also like your first time playing like a roguelike game like this, whereas I've played quite a few before, so I feel like I probably go into the groove of how things worked faster. Just because I've played games that are very much like it, with similar like mechanics, though just the way things work in that. Like I've played tons of Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon and stuff like that, and they're, you know, similar gameplay loops and the way upgrades work and all that kind of shit. So like, yeah.
It's a good game. I'd probably play like another roguelike game. I'd probably be more open to playing like Binding of Isaac.
I would recommend Enter the Gungeon, if any. It's honestly one of the best games I think I've ever played. It is very hard as well, but it's pretty great. It's got tons of content in it.
I think like part of the appeal of like Hades is you never really get the same playthrough twice. And I don't know, like, so like when you mix and match power ups and stuff like that, and the kind of combos and stuff that you can do, really attracts me to playing like a different game that maybe, you know, maybe like Binding of Isaac or Enter the Gungeon, where it is like that.
Yeah, they definitely, playing the games, you definitely will get specific power ups and weapons and shit that they like synergize with each other and like work well together and stuff. That's really cool to like combine. Yeah. I would recommend checking them out if you want to.
Did you see Lee stealing my part in the group chat?
Wait, what? How? What did he? When was this? Like, the day?
So, like 2 days ago, I had posted a video.
Right.
Not a video, but it was like a video for YouTube, and it was like coming across a dragon in level 1. It was like a Skyrim meme, right? But it's like, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like these memes out there, and it's like Skyrim cut with the Sopranos.
I don't think I've seen that.
Right, it's like it's like really funny because you've got like this dead serious program like The Sopranos about gangsters, and then it's like just Skyrim backgrounds. Have a look at them; they're pretty funny. But there's one when it's like when you encounter a dragon on level 1, and it's just somebody from The Sopranos like just running. Like, I thought it was very funny.
Right.
Anyway. Obviously, nobody's seen it when I posted it, and then Lee's posted it the day.
I'm looking at the group chat, and I could see you posted it on Sunday, and then he posted it the day.
Actual Snake?
Literally the same video.
What is this?
Actually,
Actual Snake. He loves stealing part. Actual just loves it. With tea-leaving bastard.
Actually blatantly just taking your video.
No even like saying, "Oh, this is really funny. I like this." Just gonna take it. We asshole. I actually hate Lee's.
How?
I don't really, but it just drains me emotionally, mentally. Physically, I'm drained.
I've actually been pretty annoyed with him the past few days.
He's online now.
He's doing a classic. He's been a classic Lee's where he's like, "Do you want to hang out?" And then you're like, "Aye," and then he just keeps flaking. Like he messaged me on Sunday, I think it was, and he was like, "Oh, I want to hang out tomorrow," and I was like, "Aye, sure." Monday I don't stream or anything like that, so I'm pretty free to just do whatever. So I'm like, "Aye, sure, man. Let's hang out." And then what did he say to me? Hold on.
Come on, drag him in the pod. Drag him for filth.
Alright, so he messaged me Monday afternoon, and he said, was going to pop down the night, but I'm really not feeling well, so we'll probably come down tomorrow to hang out for a bit before your stream, if that's cool. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I woke up yesterday. I didn't wake up yesterday until like 3:30ish. And I had a message for him like at say like 1:30, being like, what time do you want us to do? And then I was like, oh, I've just woke up. I didn't mean to sleep in so late. And then he was like, oh, well, we're on come on odd and all that, so we won't be able to come. So we'll come tomorrow instead. And I was like, alright, fine. And then I get up the day and I've got a message for him being like, oh, I've pulled an all-nighter to run Mariti work, so I'll only be able to come up. And I'm just like, fucking 3 days and be like, we're gonna come up and hang out, and then just, oh, actually, well, this has happened. I'm just like, fuck's sake.
Dude, you'd be as well just no replying.
I know.
You know, like, like flaky people in general just kind of, it just really annoys me, like, because you're not being honest, or there's a lack of honesty. Like, you might have the best intentions of being like, I want to hang out, I want to see you, I want to catch up kind of thing. But then when it comes to it, and if something else is taken precedent, like, go and show them, or, do you know what I mean? It just kind of seems like, well, if I feel like you've lied to me, because you're not really saying you want to hang out. You just like the option.
You know? It's like, well, if nothing else comes up, I'll come over and see you tomorrow. But if something else comes up, then, you know, I'm not going to.
Like, it's just really flaky. I don't get it. Like, I think that if I had made plans with someone, and well, I'll give you a perfect example, right? So I made plans with someone recently, and it was around Father's Day, right? And when it came to it, they were out the night before, which is fine. And then, like, I messaged them in the morning. I was like, you know, it's Father's Day. Don't know if you want to see your dad or anything like that. You might kind of rearrange it, you know, stuff like that. You gain the person the option, because if they're a wee bit flaky, you know, they're just going to say it anyway. So be like, look, are you doing it in the day? And because then they've got the option of saying, you know, no, I'm fine, everything's good, we're still on schedule, or we're on plan, whatever. Anyway, the person messaged me at like 5 o'clock. I think we were meant to have lunch or something, and they're like, oh, I was hungover last night and I had to go and see my dad, and blah 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 this and blah 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 that. And I'm like, what? Why is your life chaos? You know, why can you not meet a friend for lunch?
See, I don't understand that, right? Because to me, right, if I've made plans with somebody,
it's gospel.
If I've made plans with somebody to hang out with them, especially like in the afternoon, early afternoon, and the night before I'm supposed to go and hang out with them, somebody says to me like, oh, do you want to have a drink or get drunk tonight or whatever? I'd probably be like, no, I've got plans tomorrow, I don't want to be hungover or feel shit or anything like that, or end up sleeping in because I've drank. I would that would be my thought of, I don't want to be, if I drink alcohol, there's a very good possibility I will not be able to make it to my plans tomorrow, so therefore I'm not going to do that, because that would be a shitty thing to do to that person that I've made plans with. But some people are just like, fuck it, let's get pissed, and then they get pissed, and then they wake up the next day and they're like, oh, I'm going to have to flake on this person now. And then and if you call them out for that, they're all like, well, I was drinking, I didn't know I was going to get like, I bet you did though. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're
no stupid. You've drank before, you know you get hungover. You knew you were probably likely to not be able to get it done the day if you were going to drink. So like, you just didn't.
Well, that's it.
Like,
exactly. Like, if you're going out drinking, like, you plan your hangover in a way, because, or maybe certainly the older you are, you know, you plan your hangover, like, you know that you're going to be out of commission that day. You won't want to go and see family, friends. You'd rather just stay in bed, watch TV, kind of just relax and chill and recuperate, which is fine. Like, it's totally fine. But like, You know, if, as you say, like if you know you're going out drinking, don't make plans.
Exactly.
It's like easy as that. It, flaky. I find maybe it's like just the pandemic. I don't know, or the times that we're living in. But I find like people are just kind of like really flaky. Like maybe they just kind of take for granted a lot.
It's
Do you know?
yeah. I've learned quite badly for it because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this was a long time ago. Like this was back when I was like I don't know how old, like maybe 22 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was a person I was talking to a lot, and I'd really wanted. We were like talking quite a lot, getting along and all that, and I wanted to hang out with them,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was going to be really good to hang out with them
Have
and
fun.
have a
Yeah.
great time and all that, and I was
Yeah.
excited for it because we hadn't really been able to see each other in person for like quite a few years at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember us we made plans to hang out in Glasgow, and I was like, right, well, we'll meet up at this time at this place, and they were like, alright, cool. And then the next day, I I was clearly I was like looking back, I'm like I was very naive to be like I messaged them when I got up to be like to like confirm like I saw the day this time and
Yep.
they never replied, and then me being so fucking naive and just being like, oh well, maybe they've just no seen the message, or maybe they're getting ready.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
want
like
to believe
I'll
the
just
best. Yeah.
I wanted to believe in the best of them, that they would just like they wouldn't just fucking flake on plans that we'd had for like weeks basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, right, well, I'll just head in and I'll get them in there. So I went all the way
Mm.
in, messaged them while I was on the bus, like halfway through, being like, yo, are you
Mm-hmm.
are you coming today? Basically, being like,
What's the
no heard for
spirit?
you yet.
Mm-hmm.
Went all the way in, got all the way to where we were supposed to meet. At the time we were supposed to meet, and they hit one of there, so I messaged them again, being like, "Yo, what's going on? Are you just
Mm-hmm.
not coming? Why you've why am I not why you not replying to me and stuff? What's going on?" And then fucking, I'm just like, right, well, I got waited for like 15 minutes or something, and then they reply, or then they're not showing up, and I'm just like, right, they're clearly just no showing up
That's
for
so
whatever
weird.
reason, and just no
Mm-hmm.
replying to me. So I'm like, right, well, I'm just gonna, I guess I'm just gonna leave. And
Yeah.
I had to go all the way back home.
That is
And
so
then
shit.
it was like I got home, and then it was like hours later they finally messaged me back and were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I got really drunk last night and I was hungover and I've only just woke up." And I'm like, "You're a fucking arsehole.
Yeah.
Like we've had plans for weeks to see each other the day, and the night before we're supposed to hang out, you get pissed and you get hungover and just sleep all
Mm-hmm.
day, and just and I'm left here in mine, like just like looking like an arsehole." And I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think for that, for that moment on, I've just been like, I've had no tolerance for people
Flake.
just
Yeah.
doing things that they know very well will cause plans they have with other people to fall through. And it's like
Yeah. It'd be
you could have
affected. Yeah.
planned better. You could have had some self control and been like, nah, I'm not gonna do this because that'll fuck up my plans with this. So I'll just be like, nah, I'm alright. Like it's just
Do you know?
I don't get it.
Not even that. Not even that. Like to not even have like the common courtesy to be like, hey, listen,
Even that would be
you know,
nice.
I can't make it for X amount of reasons, or you know, I've been drunk as fuck, and like, if I woke up and I can manage to phone in sick from work, or even make work at 8 a.m. and like you know doing all that party and shit, you know, the person can at least at one point throughout their day text you and let you know. By the
Aye.
way, can we rearrange? I was I went out last night and I've done this and I'm really you know I don't know just at least communicate the fact that they've done it, you
Aye.
know, rather than just leaving it for hours and you're kind of left sitting in this sort of form of limbo
Mm-hmm.
and then
Like
they don't.
aye.
It's just really as I say I think it's just really taking people for granted and it's just kind of being um like in your scenario the person obviously kind of uh was just like, it's fine, we can you know, they took your time for granted. Like they're like, oh, it's fine, that we'll rearrange and they'll be there, and you know, it's not a big deal. But obviously, is a big deal. Like, if you've made an obligation to somebody, like to connect and hang out and stuff like that, then you kind of should meet that obligation.
Yeah, it's
I,
just
I think.
it's so rude. It's so inconsiderate. It's a pet peeve of mine now to just like for people to make plans. And obviously, the thing with Lee's isn't that big a deal. Just him being like, "Oh, I'm going to come hang out," and then he does, and I'm just like, "Oh, whatever." Like, I don't. It's not,
I mean,
like that's something that isn't
yeah.
a big deal because it's just like I literally I'm waiting up to a message to him saying, "Oh, I'm not coming today," and then I'm just like, "Alright," and I just do other stuff. Like, so
I mean,
that's like no big deal, but like things like that where it's like planned for weeks to hang out, see each other, and then they don't even say to me until like after we're supposed to meet up, like being like, "Oh, I was pissed last night and I've been hungover, so
yeah.
I've only just woke up." It's like that's just so fucking. I was so
Yeah,
pissed off. Like I literally just like I say to them, right, fine, whatever, and then I think I did talk to them for a few days because I was just so pissed off about
Quite
it.
rightly so.
I was just like, that's such a shitty
Shitty
thing to
thing to
do
do. Yeah, it's a
to
really
somebody.
shitty thing.
Like you could have had the decent, like even if have the decency to like message me the night before, being like, "Hey, I'm drinking. I've been drinking the night. I don't know if I'll make it tomorrow. I'll let you know." And then I could at least be like, the next day, if they don't reply to my messages, I can at least then be like, right, well they're clearly not coming because
Exactly.
they're
Yeah.
hungover, and then I wouldn't have wasted my time going in and all that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Because it is. It's just a huge waste amount of time, and like they've. Because it's not their time they're wasted because well they're sitting in the house and they've
uh,
already planned what they're doing with their day. They've just decided to waste your time.
hours of my time I could have spent doing something else,
Mm-hmm.
but instead I've wasted uh, on this person that was never going to show up or something.
Yeah, I had no intention of showing up.
And I'm just like, right, that's cool. I'll just
I
guess fuck me.
yeah, I handle it now where I'll ask them like, do you want to get a coffee or lunch, whatever it is, or and if they say yeah, and then like kind of consistently, kind of, you see a pattern emerging, I just stop asking.
Yeah.
Because it's either they don't have the time or they're not interested or whatever it is. You know, I'd rather spend my time with people that do want to see me and do like make an effort to either come see me or want to see me, or I think a lot of it's really strange. Like a lot of these days, a lot of friendships are always kind of one-sided. You always get some friendships where it's always one person asking the other person to hang out or asking them to do stuff, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lee's is funny because he's exactly that. He's the one person that's always asking you to hang out, but then he never meets that obligation.
He's a weird one, that way.
He's
always wanting to make plans and want to hang out, but then he was the worst for just no showing up or at the last minute being like, "Oh, I can't because I've got to do this random shit," and you're just like, "All right then."
I've got to go and clean my granny's gutters, and it's going to take me 6 hours. All right.
That boggles my mind when he does that. It's like, "Hey, we're going to hang out today at some point, aye," and then he's just like, "Oh, I can't. I have to go do this thing," and you're like, "Please, it's like 2:00, and like we could hang out at any point in the next like 8 hours. This random task you've told me you have to do isn't going to take you 8 hours today. So like, how is this stop me for coming and hanging out?"
You really just wish you'd be like, honest. Here's what I'd rather be doing.
I just been like, "Listen, I know I made plans today, but I just can't be arsed, so I'm not going to." Like, I'd rather him tell me that than be like, I have to wash my hair. It'll take me 7 hours, so we can't hang out.
He's like Schrodinger's friend. He's
Schrodinger's friend?
Actually. He's there, but is he really?
You never know if you're actually hanging out with Lees until he actually shows up. Like if he's not physically next to you, there is no guarantee things are going to happen that you're actually going to hang out and do stuff.
I always think I'd like to call it a sixth sense by now, but it's really probably just like a sharpened perception because I've spent so long with him. But like, see if he's told me, like, if he's went, "Oh, do you want to do this? Or do you want to do that?" I know immediately how serious he is about it, and if it's going to happen or no. Like the amount of times he's went, "Oh, I'm going to go up to Rids this week," and I've just looked at the message and went, "No, you're not. I know you're not." And then it'll come to the Friday and it'll be that fabled, "Is Lee's coming?" And then it's not.
Is he fucked?
Did you expect it?
No. I mean, that's like, we've been friends with Lees for so long that it is at the point now. It used to piss me off really badly, like years ago, when he would make plans and then it would be a all-day hangy, him being like excuses, oh, well, I have to do this first, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, oh, it's 11 o'clock at night, I guess I'm not coming up. And it would piss me off, because I'd be like, sitting there all day expecting him to show up, so I wouldn't really be doing anything else, and then I'm just like, Lees, you've wasted my whole day, because I could have been doing this, and you and your fucking bullshit constantly delaying, being like, I'll come up the noon, no, I'll wait, I'll come up in a couple hours, no, I'll wait, I'll come up a couple hours after that. And but now I'm like, I just know what he's like, so anytime I make plans with him, I don't assume he's actually going to be here to hang out until he's actually here, so I'll just do other shit. And if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, I'm just like, alright, well, I didn't. I'm no, I'm just doing other stuff anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
Very, very little surprises me with Lees.
Yeah.
Like, very little. Like, if somebody was to be like, yeah, like me and Lees had planned this like great day where we were going to go to like Glasgow and we were going to go and see this, a great day in Glasgow kind of thing, and I'd be sitting there and go, oh, and you're naive enough to believe it. You actually thought that he was going to meet you in Glasgow and you were going to have a day? No. That's not Lees. That's not how Lees operates.
That's not how Lees operates.
No. But he's like, he really is. He's a big flaker. Like, he loves to flake. And I think it's more like he's a really impulse-driven kind of person.
Yes.
He's like how he feels that day or in the moment, and like everybody gets that way. Like, some days like you will make plans, and some days you'll wake up and you'll be like, this isn't for me the day. I kind of need to take a day for me, or do something that helps them. And it doesn't mean that like it's not a disrespectful thing. I don't think, so long as they tell you and they're upfront and honest about it.
Yeah.
Like, if we had made plans and say on the day I'd woke up and, I was just having a bad day and I just didn't feel like being around other people, because sometimes when you're that bad way, you're worried that, other people are going to be affected by it and then they end up, so you kind of take the conscious decision to be like, no, I'm going to just take some time for me and, read a book, sit in the garden, go walk, stuff like that. As long as you're open and honest and being like, listen, I can't make it today, I'm feeling really shitty. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just take the time to breathe and relax and stuff. You would never turn around and go like, wow, you're a shitty friend for cancelling plans.
Aye. It's... Everybody has their days where you've got plans to do something, and then if somebody else says to you, oh, I can't make it for this reason, there are days where you're relieved. You're like, oh,
definitely.
You're like, oh, I actually wasn't really feeling like doing it in the day. I'm so thankful they came up with they had something they had to do. No, I don't have to be the guy that does that, and I can just sit and do whatever. Like, you do have the days where you're just like, oh man, I really hope these plans fall through because I just can't be arsed.
It is definitely a scale kind of thing. Like, as you say, like some days, like you will wake up and you'll be like, yeah, I'd love to see them, and you'll make the best of it, but you kind of would rather be doing something else.
Oh, exactly.
I get that. I think everybody would get that, really. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard for somebody like cancelling plans?
Worst excuse I've ever heard?
I would love to hear that.
Oh.
Comments as well, I'd love to hear like the worst excuses that you've heard of people using to cancel plans. I
mean, it's honestly probably something Lisa said. More than likely, if I really think about it. Fuck.
Try to think.
That's a tough one.
Because you never really get an honest answer when it comes to like an excuse, do you? It's always kind of like
aye.
Oh, my granny's not well, and I need to go and see them, or my dog, they're not well, I need to put them down, or whatever it is.
I don't know if I've had anything that's really stands out as being like
memorable.
Memorable,
Yeah.
I've had a lot of just the usual shit you would get from people of like things like, oh, I'm hungover, or
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I've got these plans to do this today, or just, oh, or I'm working, or just
Mm-hmm.
the usual, like, kind of stuff you would expect to hear, but I kind of think anything that, like, stands out to me, like, remembering it has been really bad.
I think you're right when you say that there is, if there is like the world's worst or best excuse, it's chances are it's came for Lee's.
He's had them all. He's had them all.
he's like, I'm convinced he's told me that 5 of his grands have died. Now I know that he's got 1 grand left. Like I know one grand's kind of still alive, but like through our time together, I'm sure he's said at least five times my granny's dead. I need to go somewhere. You're just sitting there like, you don't need to lie because we both know it's a lie.
That's the thing. That's the funny thing about Lee's. And like, Lee's, I hope you're listening to this, and we're just going to slate you this whole podcast.
Yeah,
but that's the funniest thing about Lee's. I think after so many years of him making up shitty excuses for stuff, you think he would be a decent liar. Yeah, he's such a shit liar. You always know when he's doing his bullshit, and you like it's so obvious.
Mm-hmm. The worst it is, but like, I don't know if he's lying more for him or for us, because at this point, none of us would believe it.
Aye.
Everybody would just kind of be like, all right, cool, if that's what you need to do, that's what you need to do. But he'd be like, they believed that.
I genuinely wonder how often he says, like, he's a bullshit liar about something like that, and actually thinks that we believe it. Or is just like, right, well, they're not calling me on it, but they clearly know I'm bullshitting, but they've just accepted it, so let's just move on.
This is the thing with like lies. Of like, if you're going to be a good liar, you need to have a good memory. That's what they say. Lisa's got a shit memory, and he's a very terrible liar. But I will give it to him. He tries his best. He tries his best.
Yeah, he does. And it might sound like we hate him for people that don't know. I mean, us, but like me, John, me and John and Lee's have been pals since we were like, what, 7?
Mm-hmm.
Year old or something. Like fucking, we've been pals for years. Like there's very little that will that would make us not be pals anymore, I think.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of the, I couldn't get rid of Lee's even if I wanted to.
Aye, like this is just how we just talk shit about each other. Things that we do that we annoy each other, but we're still pals at the end of the day. So
I mean, like, I'm no jumping into fiery canyons for him, but no, like, do you know what? I mean, I've said this for a long time. Lisa's like Butters. For anybody that's listening and they'd like to know what Lisa's like Butters. He's this completely innocent and harmless being, and then in the drop in instant it can go, like the way that Butters kind of turns. It's weird. But he is I think he's a very gentle, sensitive soul, I think. And he just kind of is navigating the world because the world terrifies him.
He very much
should.
Aye.
But he's honestly, like, only a few people can make me like scream with laughter, and he's one of them. And I've always said, like, anybody that has ever known me, I've always said, like, there's only a few people in the world that can make me laugh like that, and it's Lisa's one of them.
Lisa's he's one of the funniest guys I know, for sure.
He is hilarious. But he's such a flaky person.
He's such an arsehole.
He's an arsehole. He's a box of cornflakes. That is Schrodinger's friend.
For a second there I was like, what do you mean he's a box of cornflakes? And then I was like, alright, flaky. Okay. I was like, very confused for like a split second there what the fuck that metaphor was.
Because he's a big chicken.
He's a big chicken.
Cornflakes, there was a chicken on the front, or a rooster maybe. But yeah, when Lisa actually decides to hang out with you, it's actually a lot of fun.
When he's got the time to spare, and he's very busy life.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody what Lee's does during the day, but it probably involves his PS4
Absolutely.
and probably involves a lot of I'm up at my grand's and I can't leave. You know.
You're like, I hear samurai fighting in the background, Lisa. You playing Samurai Wars? No, my grand's watching it. She's watching an old movie, a Japanese movie. They got,
My granny's watching the History Channel. Lisa, I just heard the Hadouken. Are you playing Street Fighter? No.
Oh.
That's quite funny. What are you having for dinner tonight?
I have absolutely no idea.
I
just woke up like an hour ago. So you're having steak? You fucking bastard.
Mm-hmm. A lovely bit of steak.
I've
with some garlic and rosemary.
I've not had a steak since my birthday last year. My mom took me out for a steak and it was delicious.
Do you want me to come over on Friday and I'll cook you a steak dinner?
I mean, I'm not going to say no to
that. I'd be up for that. I'd be up for a wee steak dinner.
Good steak. How do you have your steak?
I'm very controversial. I like mine blue.
What does that mean, blue?
Right, so you've obviously got your rare and your medium rare and stuff, right?
Aye.
So blue is essentially, it's just kind of been kissed by the pan. It's been like in the pan for a hot second, and then that's it.
Right.
You're essentially eating it raw.
I mean,
but honestly, I think it's like, to me, it's very tasty. This is very tasty. Like, I don't like see a tough, chewy steak that's like kind of grey in the middle. Like a steak should be pink, completely pink in the middle.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
I'm
definitely
a rare, medium rare kind of guy.
Mm-hmm. This is the thing. Like, I don't know if you remember this. There was a video and it was of Gordon Ramsay, and it was this person that was basically kind of, they'd set up an interview as if it was like just going to be like an interview about his life and his cooking and stuff like that and his passions. And the person was like, I went to your restaurant and ordered a steak, well done, and look how it came out to me. And it was like that, basically essentially a hockey puck. Because if you're going into like a nice restaurant and asking for a steak well done, they know that you don't eat steaks.
Aye, and that's the thing, like, I mean, that's the thing, is like, a lot of chefs probably only ever cook steak rare or medium rare.
Rare or medium rare.
It could be that they've no cooked a well done steak in fucking forever, so they just don't know, like, don't really remember how to do it as well, even if they are a top chef.
I have no idea who's asking for a steak well done.
It's insane. I don't know why it's even an option. Like, who wants their steak like that? It's just no right.
There's so much flavour when it's like, sorry to all the vegans out there, by the way, but there's so much flavour when it's like literally pink and it's like, it's just tasty.
Yeah. It's just pink and melts in your mouth and just amazing.
I'm excited for Friday now. It's going to be steak night.
Steak night?
Do you think Frankie will be able to stop getting Amazon packages long enough to see if he wants a steak?
Well, he's not in there, but I can ask him when he gets in for work. On that note, he literally got 2 Amazon packages in yesterday, and he came into the kitchen and was like, I genuinely don't know what these are. I was like, classic Frankie.
He's lost control of his spending. He really has. He's just ordering shit throughout the day, just being surprised.
It is very funny to me.
A lot of people do it as like wee gifts to themselves.
I mean, that is the thing. Is like, I remember that just reminded me. There was a podcast I listened to fucking forever ago, and one of the people on it had an idea for a website that was interesting. And I don't know if I've brought this up before. I might have, but it was a website. The idea for the website is that you order like things like snacks for yourself on this website, and then you say like, I want these to come 6 to 10 months from now. So that by the time they're coming to you, you've just completely forgot that you've ever ordered them because it's that long.
Right.
And then they'll just come at a random time and it's just a nice surprise. Where you're just like, when it just comes in and you're like, I remember I ordered this now months ago and it's this snack thing is here that I like.
Yeah.
That's such a nice surprise for myself and I can just eat this today. And I was like, that's an interesting idea. For sure.
That is an interesting idea. I'd love that. Like, just I'm really bad for like buying snacks and then eating them all an hour after, and then I've got no snacks for like the rest of the week. So like that in advance, where I forget about it, that's a good shout. But I'm gonna have to go and feed the doggies and prep dinner.
I will also have to go and get some food to eat before my stream in an hour.
What are you streaming tonight?
I'm playing a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red called Radical Red. That is basically it's basically Pokemon on crack. It is insanely difficult. Like every boss fight, they've got like full like competitive like items and stats and movesets and all that, and it's like ridiculously tough.
Wow.
So, but I've been nuzlocking it, and I've just finished the 8th gym yesterday, so now I'm prepping for getting ready to go to the Elite Four now.
Oh.
So we'll see if I.
Sounds like right up your street. Something that you'd really enjoy doing.
I mean, I'm so good at Pokemon, John, right? That even doing Nuzlocke in the normal games is just too easy for me. So like, I have to do these like insane ROM hacks that are like really tough, and also Nuzlocke them because I'm just that good. I'm so bored of regular Pokemon. It's just too easy, you know.
Well, I know you didn't have to tell me that. I already knew all of that.
Not to brag, you know.
I know. I hope you're listening, Nintendo. Would you play like a Pokemon if there was like a legendary mode or a
absolutely
insane mode?
Absolutely. I mean, that's basically what this game is, to be honest. So
it's not like
yeah.
Well, I will let you crack on and get something to eat.
Yeah, you two go get them dogs fed.
And well, I'll see you on Friday. I'll come through on Friday.
Nice. I'll see you then.
Sweet. I'll see you then.
Thanks for listening, guys. See yous.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.